And thanks to Coach K for firming up the dough. I'm ready for the journey with the So Pro. I know there will be highs, I know there will be lows. Road to success now, so many toes, but I'm ready for the journey. Yeah, I said I'm ready for the journey. The journey, hey, it's more than just a game.
My guest of honor is an amazing mother that has literally dedicated her life to motherhood. Her love and passion has even overflowed into her profession. Over the past 7 years, she has served as a registered nurse specializing in postpartum and women's services. She's also taken her talents to other places to contribute as a travel nurse, and her loving spirit graces everyone she comes into contact with. She provides them with comfort and care in the most vulnerable moments, and it takes a special person to do purpose work like this. We need more people like her. Today, my guest of honor is Sierra Stewart. How you doing, sis?
You make me sound way nicer than I really am, but
Hey,
I'm
look,
doing good.
that's the person I know. You know, you gotta work to get to that part, though. They gotta work to get to that.
You know what? You're exactly right. You do got to work because, some people when I first meet them, they get the still face because I don't know you. I don't know you.
I don't know you. That's all right. Like, I feel like that's important because sometimes we can be too open at times.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to kind of protect yourself. That's the mother, that mama burying you too. Well,
I'm trying to tell her that she don't get it yet, but she will.
She will, and she gonna remember everything you taught her too. Like later on, like when she's not in your sights, it's gonna change. Yeah, it's gonna change. Well, this season's theme is unstoppable, right? So I always want to start off by letting people know a little bit about your background and like where you come from. So just go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm Sierra, as you already said. I born and raised in Austin, Texas. I went to UT Arlington. That's where I got my first degree. That's how we met. That's how we know each other. I originally wanted to go out of state. I wanted to be far away from Texas, my family, as I could. I loved them. My mother was very strict, and I just wanted to go away. She wasn't having that. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. I was like, you know what? Arlington is far enough. That's okay. So I came there, loved it. Where my major was biology pre-med at first, and then I had my daughter my sophomore going into junior year, I believe. So I switched it up. It's not that I didn't want to do that anymore. I just felt like parenting came first. And anybody who knows med school or even trying to get into med school is a lot of work. Just getting into med school is a whole thing in itself. The classes, the studying for the MCAT. I know because right before I started traveling, I was like, you know what? I feel like I can go back to med school. So I was taking all the classes. I only have one more class left technically.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a lot because even I was like, okay, I'm done with the classes and I got to study for the MCAT, which is hard. Then if you get interviews, you got to think about the expenses. Interviews rack up. You got to pay for, your outfit. You got to fly there. You got to have how it becomes a whole dealing with stuff. But that's further down. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so I went to school. I had my daughter. I went to work 2 weeks after she was born. So there was no stopping work in school. I worked, it says part-time, but I was really working full-time. Just, I didn't meet the hours to get like benefits. That's how they do you. Worked full-time, went to school part-time, and then I came back to Arlington to finish out my degree. And then I went to San Angelo for my nursing degree. So I got 2 degrees.
She does have 2 degrees. But...
Yes, and I did it.
You did do it. I think that it's super important for people to understand, like, there's going to be a whole bunch of, like, highs and lows when it comes to this thing. There's going to always be something that tries to stop you from doing what you set out to do. But pivoting is necessary. And it sounds like you did quite a bit of pivoting. Like, you made sure you made a way.
Sometimes your life does not work out the way you plan, but it works out the way it should be. And sometimes that takes time to set in and be okay with that and accepting of that. It took me a while to be like, okay, I'm not going to be a doctor. And it sounds bad, but really is really not. I feel like I needed that time. Really though, having her pushed me, because when I was in school, even though I was biology pre-med, I wasn't around the clock studying. I wasn't thinking about the next steps to get me to becoming a doctor. I just knew these were the classes I haven't taken. I'm taking them, and that's it. Really after I had her, I was like, okay, this is this step. I got to be a nurse. I need to apply for this. I need to do this. This is what I need to study. What type of nurse do I want to be? Oh, I need volunteer hours. Oh, I need this. I'm doing it. I feel like having her really matured me to the point where I was like, I got to do what I got to do, because I have to live for somebody else now.
Yeah,
And it
no
didn't
time
matter
to
what,
waste.
right. It didn't matter what career I was going to go into, but I know I had to get it done so that we could have a future. Because I didn't want to have us struggling. Like, I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to be, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I want to be a good example for her. And I feel like I have been.
Yeah, even when you were in school, you were a good example for her. I feel like you showed her persistence, and like you still made a way to like live too. Like you made sure that you lived a little bit too while you still were a mother.
I
So
sure did.
I think that's important. So tell me why nursing? Like, what is it about nursing that like sparks your interest? Like, what really drew you to it?
So, like I said, I originally wanted to do biology pre-med. I wanted to be a doctor. So at first I was kind of like, well, what can I do that can at least get me closer to my dream? Maybe I can't do that, but what can get me in the realm? Because really though, when it comes down to things, even as being a nurse, I feel like what I wanted most was that patient interaction. I wanted to be there for somebody in their most vulnerable times. And doctors definitely can be that. But think about all the times you go to the hospital or the clinic. How long do you see your doctor? 5
2
seconds,
minutes.
and then they out of there.
Mm-hmm.
As a nurse, I was like, okay, I can be upfront and personal with my patients. I can get to know them. I can get to the root cause, because there's sometimes like, and this is not to blame doctors. It's to really the healthcare system. They only have a certain amount of time that they get to see you because of the way healthcare system is made. But I get to see a little bit longer. I can get to the root cause of things. I can talk to you like, why is this happening? I can go over the history and then confer that back with the doctor. I just felt like nursing was the most logical step from there. And then if I wanted to go up, I can become a nurse practitioner if I wanted to. So that was an easy no-brainer for me. Picking your specialty was a little bit harder. I always thought I wanted to do women's health. I always thought I wanted to be labor and delivery. I thought I would really love that. I did for nurses, like just how doctors have like residency programs. The most hospitals in big cities have residency programs.
Uh-huh.
So I got into a residency program in Austin. I was looking for labor and delivery because I don't think we have enough women of color in labor and delivery to advocate for us. So that's what I really wanted to do. Got to that hospital. They didn't have opening at the time. So I took the next best step, which was postpartum. That's mother baby. That's after you have your baby, you come to me, we're taking care of you. And I honestly like that way more because you're not in a whole lot of traumatic pain with me.
Yeah.
I mean, some of you are, but there you're focusing on giving birth. You're not really sometimes in the best mood. Here, you're focused on recovering, you're learning your baby, you're learning yourself. I like that aspect of it. It's a lot of patient education, and I think that's what I enjoy the most about it. The nursing stuff is cool, but I really love the patient education of it, especially for people who have never had a baby, never been around a baby. This is their first time. Let me help you. I got you. I was there at one point. Let me show you how it is.
You were. Look, that's the beautiful thing about like our journeys. It's like the thing that either made us fearful or the thing that was like kind of like the thing that pushed us off the regular path that we chose is the very thing that we end up turning into. Like it's like we end up becoming the person that we needed in those moments. It's crazy how it really comes full circle. So when I said that you dedicated yourself to motherhood, I meant that because even if it's not in the sense of like babies, just like in general, being a person that's like giving or like open like that, it's the same thing to me. But
especially when they're young, because I feel like I can relate so much more. It's very overwhelming having a baby young. Regardless if you're a single parent or you're doing it with somebody else, it's a lot to be 19, because that's how old I was, 19 with a baby. Technically, you're an adult. But really, my mama still paid my bills. She paid my phone bill. She'd buy me food. I didn't have a car. I was very much a child. So for it, no, my mom, heck, even when I was pregnant, my mom was still calling to make my doctor's appointment. So it's a lot going on. And then you have a baby and all this adultness is thrust upon you. And now you have to be an adult for somebody else, not only yourself, but for somebody else. It's a lot. And I can see how that's overwhelming, especially with all the little things about healthcare. Like, do I vaccinate? Do I not vaccinate? Breastfed, bottle fed, this. That's a lot to kind of take in as 19. So,
Yeah.
I try my best to educate people. It's your body, your choice. You do the research. I'm just here to support whatever decision you make. Um, like I said, patient education that's my favorite part, and then supporting you. I educated you. Now I'm gonna support whatever decision you make after that.
Yeah. Well, shout out to mama for being that type of mother that was like, I'm going to help my child get in the right
Yes.
space, because some parents don't do that. They be like, you made the baby, you deal with it, right? So,
I thought that's how she would be. I was terrified. I don't tell the story much, unless people were talking to me, but when I had my daughter, I don't think I told my mama until I was like, I probably was like, I think I found out personally, like, went to the doctor, knew when I was like 12, 13 weeks. And I don't think I told my mama for another month. So by that time, I mean, this is, this is a fully formed baby, girl.
oh yeah, the baby in there.
Baby is happening. I was terrified. Like, my mother was very strict. So like, and I wouldn't say I was an angel. I don't think people thought I was an angel, but I think people treated me like handled me with kid gloves. They thought I was very innocent. I am. But I just didn't tell her for a while. So, because I was nervous, and I didn't want to disappoint her. I think that's really, it wasn't even just a fear. I just didn't want to disappoint her. I was her first child. I'm in college. It ain't even it's my second year in college, and I'm already, I'm having a baby. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to disappoint her. So yeah, I didn't tell her too late. And so I thought she was just going to get out of my house. This is, this value. And she wasn't like that at all. She was understandably upset, but this is what it is. And she helped me from there. My mama took me to so I went back and forth from Arlington, Austin. She took me to my doctor's appointments because I didn't have a car. Ultrasound, she's making the appointments for me. I had got sick in my pregnancy, so I had to miss a lot of school on top of some other things. So I needed to essentially drop out. You can't just drop out after a certain time. You gotta, have a reason. So she's on top of the doctors, like getting my letters at one point, so it can be like a withdrew and not like a dropout. There for me mentally, because I was in a relationship that I shouldn't have been in. And instead of being like a mom that kind of told me like, you don't need to be with that boy, he ain't this, he ain't that, she let me do it and was kind of there for me and support. Like, she knew she knew it wasn't right, but she didn't want to push me away. So she let me kind of learn for myself that this wasn't the right person, and kind of stay to the wayside. And then when that didn't work out, she was like, well, I'm here. This person ain't here, but I'm here. My mother has been a saint to this day. We fight like cats and dogs. We're the same person essentially, but she's always been here for me. That's my number one supporter. That's my number one everything. Everything I do for my life besides Rylan is for her. Like, when I travel nurse, I'm not just making money for my child. I'm making sure that my mama's taken care of too, because she's done so much for me that she don't have to do, because I'm an adult and I can handle it myself.
Yeah.
So big ups to parents. If your parents are helping in your life, you can never say thank you enough, because I wouldn't be here right now without my mama, like, for sure.
That's real. It takes a village for real. And I love that she stood up and came to help you, because it could have been different, but I'm so proud of her for being a mother, like a real one. So you talked about, you were with someone that you felt like that you found out wasn't good enough for you, or wasn't good for you. So leading into like being a parent and managing that, navigating that, how has it been being a single parent on your end, even though you have all the support from your mom?
Never thought I would be a single parent, so it was at first very shocking for me. I think it took me a while to get over it. I was talking to my best friend actually about this recently, and I was like, I think I had postpartum depression, but I didn't know it then because it was a shock. I remember, like I said, I went to work 2 weeks after I had Riley. Like most people are not going back for at least 8 weeks, 6, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks after, I still look pregnant. I remember the first time at the job, somebody asked me when I was due. I was like, oh, I just had my baby 2 weeks ago. Like, I literally went to work because I knew I had to do it myself, and I didn't want my mom to take care of me. Even though she would, I still lived in her house. She paid the majority of the bills. I didn't want her to be relying on her to take care of us because I did it. Like, this is my baby. I have to do it. But it was a shock for me at first. It was a shock. I felt like, I want to say very angry and very resentful for a while. Probably like that first year or two, I think I was like very resentful of him for not stepping up. But then, you kind of fall into your groove. You get used to being a parent, doing it by yourself. It becomes almost, it's natural. Like, so, and honestly, it was better that way because he was not a good person. I don't mean just like we didn't work with each other. He just wasn't a good person in general. It just wasn't good. And I don't think he would have been good for her. I don't think us together would have been good for her. It worked out the way it was supposed to. It's unfortunate because I wish she would have, I'm sure she has questions about herself, like where she comes from and things like that. But that relationship just wasn't it. And I'm glad my mother helped me kind of navigate out of that without pushing me to do it. It was my own decision. It was my own, like, I'm there for you. Let me give an instance. When I gave birth, I was induced. So I was due on like the 20th. The doctor was like, I can induce you on the 17th. And I was like, sure. So I told this man when I was getting induced, to make sure he was there, for the birth. He made up the day of the induction. He said he was going to be there, but, didn't come. So the day of the induction, my mom's texting him from my phone. It was like, I can come get you, or right before the induction, I can come get you. Cause he's saying some car trouble, something like that. Mom was like, I can come get you. If you don't want me to come get you, I can give you like money for the bus, whatever you got to do to get down here to see the baby. Excuse after excuse after excuse. My mama texted him when I was pushing, like, and all he said was good luck. Good luck. Now, my mama is very classy. She didn't get upset. She just kind of was like, oh, he said good luck, but, I'm here for you. She just handled things like I didn't need the extra drama of the situation. No. She handled it very classy. Even to this day, me and his relationship is crazy. But like I said, I'm so thankful my mama. My mama handled things so well so that I can handle things well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't need to be upset looking for you, knocking down your door. I don't need to like go. I remember lots of people be like, oh, you should put him in child support. I didn't feel that. I had my mama and I had me. We were good. I don't really want to fight for nobody to be in her life who doesn't want to be there. Like, right. I don't have the energy. I'm dealing with becoming a mother. I'm dealing with possible postpartum depression. I'm dealing with working at school. I don't feel like having that fight with somebody.
Yeah, and then you got a lot of other stuff to do.
A lot of other things. And then when I got to the mental place to want to fight for that, it was like, we already been doing it. We've been doing it. She good. I'm good. I've graduated. Like, there's nothing that I kind of need for you. And I will say that sometimes I wish I would have tried a little harder because maybe they could have had a relationship. But also, I also think I have to be easy on myself because he's also an adult too. Yep. He could have easily, my phone number ain't changed. You could have easily reached that to me too. But I just if he wanted to, he would.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all both adults. So I will say this too. It's easy to shut people out if you without trying. And the fact that y'all at least extended the reach, y'all tried to get him to come, you're not supposed to go pull him by his ear. We're not doing that. I think that's the right decision. Learning for yourself is the best way so that you can be done with it for real. Tell me what were the signs that led you to believe that made it I know now, you was I'm done.
I had this conversation too. There were always signs there that he was not the right one. I just think we got pregnant and then I was like, okay, well, he gonna have to be the right one because I'm having a baby. So you kind of push those red flags to the side. because you got other things to kind of go on. There were always little things, like he was very jealous. And at first when you're young, like, oh, that's so cute. He's protective of me. It's not cute. It's not cute that I can't go. I remember I didn't really see him much around campus. We both went to UT Arlington. But like we went to like Walmart together, Walmart by the Cowboy Stadium, and he'd be upset because another guy was looking at me. I can't help that somebody looking at me. I'm cute. I hate it. I'm cute. Can I help that? Or he would like, I would go to class and he'd like just being very controlling or not like insecure. Like, were you really in class? Like, yes, I have the notes. Like they're here. I don't feel like having to explain myself. Go with my friends to the library. I couldn't even like dress a certain way, or he would feel suspicious. Like, why are you dressed up? I'm wearing jeans and a top. I'm curvy. It's gonna show. You want me. I don't know how you want me, but this is how it's gonna be. Like, it was just, there were always signs. I just kind of pushed him to the side. And then I let those go by because that was only affecting me. I feel like I could handle it. I can handle this. I can try to make it work. I could try to prove myself that I'm not cheating, that I'm loyal, that I'm loving, that, trying to qualify myself for somebody who ain't qualified to be with me to begin with.
Right.
But once I had her, like, you didn't show up to the birth, I was like, you know what? Life happens. This is not the end all be all. I think when I officially was kind of done, like, so even like when I was at work, I started work 2 weeks after I had her. I was in my training. You trained for about 2 weeks. He would call the office back to back. And then finally they took me out of the training. They're like, hey, there's somebody on the phone for you that thinks about the baby. So I'm calling like, what's wrong with my baby? My baby's 2 weeks old. And it was him. And he was like, oh, I was just trying to see if you're really there.
Wow.
I just had a baby. You like, be for real. So I think as I had her, those red flags were like black. I was like, no, like this is it. She was like 2-3 months old at this time. And I think my mom was going to Dallas for the state fair and the PV Grambling game. So I was like, oh, let me just ride down there with you because he's in Arlington. I was like, he can see the baby. Me and him talked about it. We planned it. It was good. And then literally like 30 minutes, I texted him like, oh, we're 30 minutes outside of Arlington. Send me your address so my mom can just drop us off and we can go. He texts me. He's like, oh, no, I can't see you. He made up some excuse. And I was like, excuse me, I just drove 3.5 hours with an infant to KC so you could like meet your child for the first time. And he made up some excuse. And I think at that point I was like, okay, we're kind of over with. My mom was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know because I came down to see him. And I don't feel like going to the fair with a 3-month-old. So my mom took me to go see some friends that were still living in the apartments there. I spent the day with them. And then my mom was like, do you want to just stay the night with them? So I ended up going to like a party with them, which was so uncomfortable because I didn't have any clothes for that party. So they trying to find stuff for me to wear. I go to the party, I still have a mom body. I'm very insecure about how I feel. And I love that I went because I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen and they were so like welcoming. But that experience with him, like he's calling me, talking about he knows I'm at a party. It was just crazy. It was just craziness.
Where you expect me to be?
Because you ain't seeing me. It was just craziness. And I think I was like, I can't be in this toxic and unhealthy relationship for the sake of my child. I don't want her to see that. My mom was in an abusive relationship with my father. And I think at that moment, I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to continue that cycle. And we just gotta go separate ways. Like, there's no way that I will allow my daughter to suffer that same type of trauma that I had to endure. And I'm not going to endure it. I'm not going to do it. Like, it's really, I don't know. I just feel like at that point, I have to be more than me. I love myself and I love my child more than I love you. So, and that was the end. And I think sometimes it takes that for people. You have to like hit rock bottom for you to see like, this is not it. And that was my rock bottom. Like, once you go to the extremes of like not caring about your child, like to even see her, like we're talking
Yeah.
about simply see. We're not talking about financially. We're not talking about nothing. Just to see. Then we kind of it's already over. Like the whole.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being willing to share that information too, because like I'm sure that there are many people who may be in situations like that and they ignoring the red flags as well because they red flags, but they don't want to believe what they're seeing. So I'm really appreciative that you shared that and that you made the decision to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to make people like puzzle pieces. We try to make people fit into our lives just so they can be there, kind of fit. And we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn sometimes it's okay that person, whether it's your friend, your family, your relationship, they don't fit. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a lot of us are okay with living in delusion because it's easy. It's easy to kind of like shut your brain off and not think about the bad. It's harder to start over. It's harder to
Yeah.
find somebody new. It's harder to heal than it is to like I'm just gonna stay here stuck. And so once you kind of um get over that, it becomes easier. Even now, like I was in a what I don't call a situationship. We too old to have situationships, but something like that. And then you have to kind of be like, this is what I need for me. Like boundaries. Learn how to set boundaries, and then learn how to once you set the boundary, stick by it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a real bad boundary stepper because I will set a boundary, but because I care so much, I let people trample over it. I let them run back and forth over it. This year, 2025, I boundaries. I'm standing on business. If I say something, I mean it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be uncomfortable in my own skin, my own safe space because I'm letting somebody make me uncomfortable to make them happy. Because
Right.
where's my peace? Where's my happiness? Like, stand on business and mean it when you do it. I feel so much lighter when you can get back and you're like, oh, stop. That's where I draw the line. And it just makes life easier.
Yeah. It First of all, anybody that truly loves you is not going to let you step outside your boundaries. So you loving yourself enough to be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not compromising me for your happiness is big because it's important. You can't love anybody else if you're not like fully loving yourself and taking care of you. So I'm glad that you've gotten to that realization and you like, nah, this stops now. We got to stop it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set boundaries for other people, set boundaries for yourself, like even like health. Like I've literally been so like weight. I've been up and down with my weight. I'm on the heftier side right now. But this year I'm about to go back to how I was. I'm about to lose weight. I need to set boundaries for myself. Like, okay, so you're miserable when y'all take the family pictures on the beach. What you doing about it? What you miserable
Mm-hmm.
for? Because you are a master of your own making. Like, I made this situation, you can get out of it. So I'm
Yeah.
learning to set boundaries with myself. Let's go work out. My goal is like 3 times a week. I set it for 5, but 3 is if I hit 3, that's good. If I do more,
Yeah.
great. Portion controlling, whatever I got to do, but I'm setting boundaries in myself. I'm making sure like, okay, let me get up and take my vitamins. Let me get up and wash my face the way I need it to be. Let me go. I haven't got my nails done in a while, but that's because I'm a nurse. We're not supposed to really do that. But like self care, I'm setting boundaries for myself. Like self care is important. Like you have to do that. Nobody's gonna do it for you. It makes me feel good, so I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah.
2025 is I'm changing, girl. It only took
That's
33 years, but
Hey,
I'm changing.
well, 33 is the Jesus year anyway, so that sounds about right to me. Sounds about right to me. That's good though. I'm happy to hear that because yeah, more women, especially Black women, need to take better care of themselves because we do take care of a lot of people, and we make sure that we kind of like we let it go out, but we need it to come in too. So I'm glad to hear that as a mother, as a Black woman, that you're gonna take your health and your happiness, make it a priority for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Uh.
getting older, and I just want to make sure that I want to, when I retire, I want to enjoy those years. I don't want to be like bedridden. I don't want to be ill. I don't want to be sick. I want to be comfortable in the space that I am. And so I'm really starting to think about my health wellness and even like my financial wellness. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what is my 60s, 70s going to look like? I don't want to be in a place where I'm relying on my kids or my grandkids or anybody else to take care of me. So even that, like I'm pretty good at budgeting and saving. But this last year I've kind of been either helping everybody or like we went on like 2 trips in the summer, which is not a problem. I love to travel. I'm gonna keep doing that. That's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
But kind of knowing when my limits are like, okay, I'm traveling because I'm a girl. I love DoorDash, honey. Like that is my vice. But I've been cooking like these last 3 weeks. I've been cooking. I don't DoorDash as much, so I'm cooking a little bit more. So I have the extra funds to put towards my retirement or put towards that trip that I want to go on. Like
Yeah.
I'm starting to relearn because I knew this to begin with, but since I've been traveling, I've been making a little bit more money, so I've been a little bit more spendy. And my goal is to kind of like get back on track because we're in our 30s. I don't think people really kind of think about retirement when we're in our 20s because I mean we're 20. Like what are we thinking about retirement? But I'm 30 and 65. What is retirement? 65, 60, something like that. It's 30 years around the corner. You got to
Yeah.
start thinking about that, and the cost of living is rising. So the same like money that your grandparents are retiring on, and they got to sit and enjoy their homes, we are not able to do that. So
No.
I want to be comfortable, baby. I want to own my house. I only want to have to worry about utilities. I don't want to have to get a social security check and then still be having to like scrimp and scave to make sure my bills are paid.
Yeah.
So 2025 is the year of kind of rebuilding everything, mental health, your regular health, financial health, all of that. I'm trying to like work towards.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it because it's already in action. So you're doing it. And that's a great point to make because people think they have forever and you do not. If you in your 30s, you definitely need to be working towards wholeness, wellness as a whole, so that you can be able to have the lifestyle that you want later because you can spend all your money now, but who's going to take care of you later? That's a question that everybody needs to ask themselves.
Think about that. Like that has been on my mind lately. I like to go on these trips now and do all these things, but I need to make sure when I'm ready to retire, whatever age that may be, that I am comfortable. I don't want my children to feel like they have to take care of me financially.
Right. Right.
Because they have their own lives to build. When I was in school, I took this class. I forgot what it was called. Um, but basically it was talking about like socioeconomic status of people and how like a lot of Black people or sometimes even just people of color in general, we are lower because we feel like we got to take care of everybody. Once we make it, we got to stay in the same city, take care of grandma, take care of mama, take care of their bills, take care of our bills, and we never are able to like grow.
Yep.
For some people, that's financially. You're stuck in the same city. You're stuck with the same opportunities. You're not able to, network and go more places. So you're stagnant in that area. Some people, it's love. Sometimes you need a relationship to kind of get you to the next level. And you're in the same city with the same people from high school, middle school, recycling the same thing, same drama.
That
You're
part.
kind of stuck. And so I know I'm still in Austin. I'm born and raised here. Dating is terrible. Don't come here. But knowing that I know this, I'm like the pot calling instead of black because I help my family like so much. That's because they helped me so much get to this point. But knowing that I know that, I know that I have to do a little bit more to kind of get where I'm going. I'm the kind of person where I'm going to help my family no matter what. That's just going to be me. That may be the case for other people. It's just not going to change. But knowing that I know
Right.
that that's a limit to my path, my socioeconomic status, my reach, I need to do a little bit more. So like I still stay with my mom. It's not because I can't leave, I can't afford to leave it. I feel like it just makes sense for the both of us
Mm-hmm.
where I can help her out. So now she gets paid. She don't got to work, she doesn't have to worry about her whole check going to her bills because I have some of the bills covered. So now she can go out. She can go on trips. She can do that. She can put that extra in her retirement. Whatever she needs to do, she can do that. And then I'm not
Yep.
paying as much as I would going to live by myself so that I can go on my trips. I can save for my retirement. I can do all the things that I need to get done. And I wish more people kind of have that same mindset because then we can get out of there. I think it's frowned upon for people to still live with their parents. And I don't see anything wrong with it. As long
There's
as
nothing
you
wrong with it.
got a job. Like if you live in with your parents and you ain't doing nothing, that's totally different. But if you got a job, you're educated, you know, you're making things work, it's just kind of to benefit you both. There's not a problem with it. Let's all grow up.
That's that. I feel like that is a stigma. Clearly I stay at home because I take care of my mom too. So my mom doesn't work anymore. So me paying for a place and helping pay for this place, that ain't gonna work at this moment. But I think that more people need to go back home. Like, so if you have the luxury of being at home for like the rest of your 20s to like mid-30s, I think that's smart because you'll be able to establish a few things, still help your family, and then when it's time for you to leave, you can leave freely. Freely.
Lots of people, when we're young, we get to like, I just can't wait to get out of my parents' house. I want to be free. Then life hits you hard. You got bills. You got the gas, the groceries. You got to go to work. All those things, the rent keep rising. That, I don't like to be stressed out. I'm a person, I don't like that. So
Yeah.
I think people need to come home. Like even I know people who they move out and then they're struggling. They think they can handle it. The moment one, and they might have the job to cover their bills, but the moment one thing goes awry, that sets the whole thing in motion. Now you're getting evicted because, you know, your tire blew out. So you have to buy a new tire and you have to miss a day of work. So I mean, you get paid a day less and, you know, things keep spiraling and then you're getting evicted because of that. I don't want to worry about that. I think we be trying to be grown before we really grown.
Child, please.
Child, I'm 33. I still feel like a little baby. I still call my mama for, Mama, what do you think about this?
We all do, Sierra.
What?
I know what to do and I'm still calling. I don't care.
Something happens at school with my own child. Mama, tell me what I need to do about this. Can you talk to them?
Yeah, you need to value that while you have it too, because our parents are not going to always be here. And I think that people don't really value that they still have their parents or their mom or their dad, like, because everybody don't have that luxury. So for me, honestly, I feel like me being able to be here with her is like I'm getting to get everything out. Like I'm getting to get everything from my mom and like understand her more and like learn those lessons that I wouldn't learn if I was somewhere else. So for those people who think that it's like not cool to be at home, have fun paying that $3,000 rent for that 400 square foot apartment.
I think if you have if your relationship with your parents is okay and safe and y'all got the space, go back home. I'm telling you, go back home because there's nothing. Oh, so like my mom wasn't like, she's not like this. So it might be different for everybody's circumstance, but like when I got to an adult, there was no like, oh, you need to come in my house by 12. There was no curfew. Now I'm respectful. I ain't about to be walking in at 5 a.m. And if I am, I'm definitely, hey mom, I'm out. And I get how people would not like that. You don't want to check in with nobody, but this is their house. I mean, it is what it is.
Be happy
But
you got
to me, that's only
in
a minor inconvenience to me paying like $3,000 for my living expenses. I just really go home. My child, when she graduates, she gonna be home. Like you can always come home. Cause my mama did it for me. I'm not gonna not let my child do it. I think it sets them up so much for success when you don't just pick them out because they're 18.
They're not grown at 18.
Like even when people like don't go to college, like I've heard people say like, well, you ain't going to school, you out. You need to get a job and get out. These babies don't know how to navigate the world. They don't know how to navigate life. Set them up, or like you have to like, I want my life to be better. I mean, her life to be better than my life, and my life is better than my mom's, and so on and so forth. So I don't want her to go into debt. Like, my goal is to make sure when she goes to college, we're not just taking out loans just because they giving them out. Like, I have a lot of school debt, and my mom, my grandma didn't go to college. So my mom, she wasn't the first one in our family to go to college, but she's the first, um, my parents, her parents didn't go. So they didn't know anything about phosphor or loans or anything like that.
Yeah.
So when I went to school, I remember not just, like, even like my mom's friend one time was like, don't worry about the loans, just get them and go. No, that is not the way to think about it anymore. I can see that might have been different in the past. That's not the way to think about it anymore. She is going to get Pell Grants, scholarships, whatever she got to do, and then I'm going to make sure. I hope I'm in the place. That's why I'm trying to set myself to be up in a place for this, where I can cover any difference of what she don't have. So maybe her Pell Grant stuff cover her tuition. Okay, I'm gonna cover the room and board because you can pay monthly on that. That's another little rent. All right,
Yeah.
you stay in the dorms. Let me just pay monthly on that. Like, I'm going to make sure that when she gets out of school, the only thing she has to worry about is getting a job and starting her life.
Exactly.
Like, that is my goal. That would be like my ultimate like success in life. If I can get her started in life without the stress that I had and without a baby, then that would be great. Yeah.
She well on her. You're well on your way to doing that. It's just having the idea and the thought process and making a plan to do it. And I believe that you're gonna get it done because your mom set a good foundation and you built on that already. So I think that I'm glad that you mentioned the idea of making sure that people think about going back home and all of that kind of stuff because people don't talk about that. They embarrassed.
Even if, like, it don't have to be forever. Like, even if you
Don't.
say like a year, just so you can stack up and save,
Yeah.
do it. And for
It's
the
called
parents,
wisdom.
yeah, and for the parents that are allowing your kids to come back home, don't put so much stress on them to pay bills. If
Yeah.
you need the help, yes, you know, make sure they're paying something because you want also kids and responsibility. You just can't live here for free. But
Right.
I wouldn't be talking like, oh, it's 50-50. You need to pay like half of the bill. Let's
They're never gonna get
allow
anywhere.
you're right. What was the point then? Allow your kids to be able to like save. Allow them to be able to live stress free so that when they can get out, they can, have that nice apartment and they can have that nice job. So that, maybe when Christmas or things, whatever, they can, break you out a little something. You want to set the
Right.
kids right. It's not even about them giving you something back. It's just the fact that you should want your kids to do well in life. And sometimes that takes a lot of support. Sometimes it takes more than just having a college education. We need to be able to get up on our feet.
Yeah.
I mean, like, shoot, we are on our parents' insurance until we're 26. So what makes you think at 18, 19, they can handle life by themselves? Like,
They're struggling.
I'm
They're
33.
struggling.
Maybe I'm still struggling. It's a lot. Every time I hit a new milestone in life, I feel like I was just talking to my line sisters, and I was like, "Are any of y'all going through a midlife crisis?" And we're all going through it for whatever reason it is. But I think like when you're in your 30s, people think you should have it figured out. And let me tell you, I don't have nothing figured out. I have a concepts of a plan, as that man would say, concepts of a plan. But I don't have, I don't have it all kind of laid out for me.
Yeah. Because you're still living. There's no way. The secret is out, y'all. You're never going to just figure it out, okay? You just got to keep living. And the more you live, you get better at it.
You better, yeah, you just get better at it. And so I think I'm in that season of like trying to figure myself out. Like I said, I'm trying to like work on all these different things, and it feels like a lot. So it's like overwhelming. But I'm like, I have to sit back and tell myself like, look, girl, you're good. You're going to get to that place. It might take some time. It might be done tomorrow. It might be done next week. It might be a year or two. But things are going to happen the way they should, and they're going to get done. You just have to be patient and consistent and disciplined. That's another key word for 2025. Everybody be on.
Yes,
Discipline.
yes, ma'am. Discipline
We're trying
and
to be
consistent.
disciplined because if you can, stay with it, then it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen.
You can't do anything but get better if you're disciplined and consistent. Like, and it's gonna look different every day. But if you have that mindset to like, I'm gonna persist regardless and enjoy the process, because you miss out on all the lessons because you just like, I'm trying to get to this date and I have to be done by this date, and you miss out on all the lessons.
Right. Yeah, I had this plan in my head when I was 30. I was like, by 33, I want another baby. I want another baby. I want to be married or engaged, some type of serious commitment, but I want a baby by 33. 33 is here. Ain't no baby. And now there ain't no man. So I
And now
ain't
there ain't no
no,
man.
right. So now I'm no close to that goal. So I have to like, and so that caused a lot of like some of that midlife crisis feeling too. I feel like I needed to get things done and I needed to get them done now, sooner than later. And
Yeah.
I'm having to sit, and this is a secular thing, secular. It's not linear. Like I feel different every day about the situation, but I know that, you know, life is going to work out how it's supposed to be. And I have to be okay with that. I need to sit and enjoy the journey to whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times, like this last year, year and a half, I've been so not, I don't want to say obsessed with the baby, but like I have been so like, okay, with this person that I was with, like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. Like, where are we going? Because I'm trying to get here. That I'm not having fun in the relationship. Like, I'm not enjoying it. I'm so focused on the next path. I'm not present right here. And those
Yeah.
paths are important to get there. We both need to be on the same page about it, but we can't even be on the same page because I'm not even thinking about what it takes to get there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to enjoy the journey. Even like with my weight loss that I'm trying to do, I get so wrapped up in the number, the losing weight, the scale, even the like seeing my body transform that I'm not enjoying it. Like I have learned that I need to enjoy my body while I have it. This is the only body I got.
Yeah.
And I gotta love it. It gets me up in the morning. I can walk on it. I breathe okay. If my only major problem is I'm a little hefty, then we in a good spot. And I need to enjoy it. So, my goal for this year too is to like be more present. Like, I don't take a lot of pictures. We talked about this even before. I don't take a lot of pictures. I
Yeah.
really don't. It's because I have been so focused on like, oh, I don't like the way I look in that camera angle. My face looks fat here. This looks fat. I'm not about to do that this year. I'm about to create memories with the people that I love the most.
Yeah.
I was looking back in like there's certain events, like even family functions. And I'm like, was I even there? Was I even there? Because I didn't take
Wow.
any pictures. It's just a memory, and I just want to like look back on life. Like, remember when we used to have photo albums? Like,
Yeah.
there were pictures of everybody. I can go and find pictures of my mom, my aunts, my grandmas, whoever. If we were to compile all the pictures that we have in our lives today, or at least for me, I'm in barely any of these pictures. There's pictures of trips and things that I've been on, but I've only in like a select handful. And those are the ones I took probably like 10 times and made sure the lighting was correct. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be present and enjoy the journey to whatever it is. So if my journey
Yeah.
is to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to love it and enjoy it. If my journey is to be in a relationship, I'm about to love and enjoy that. I'm not about to make my life circumstance make me miserable. Like,
Absolutely not.
I can't. Like, I'm here and I'm gonna enjoy my life. Life is so short. I don't want to spend another day unhappy in the place that I am. I'm
That's
very
it.
grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful for where I am in life. It may not be what I wanted. Like I'm still my mama. Like I said, I love it here, but this is not where I wanted to be at 33.
Right.
But I'm very appreciative that I'm here. Um, I'm just learning like God is putting me where I need to be, and He's patient and learn that lesson. Maybe I'm still here because I ain't learned the lesson that He tried to tell me. I ain't been listening to Him. And so I'm trying to step back. I'm trying to quiet myself down because that's a lot of time we're in our heads. I need to quiet myself down and listen to what he's truly trying to tell me and where he's trying to take me.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm so even now, just talking to you now, I'm thinking about it. I'm so focused on having this baby with this man and not actively trying, just the conversations about it. And I'm like, what if God is trying to tell me, oh, your husband is right around the corner? You need to wait on this man. This is
Yeah.
who you need to be having that conversation with. This is who you need to be planning your life with. When this man was just here for a season to kind of teach you something
Yeah.
or get you through something, make you, I don't know what it was. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I'm starting to learn, like, okay, I need to accept that, like, life is taking me a certain place and I can't be upset where it's taking me. Like,
Right.
you just kind of have to let it go.
It's gonna be better that way, Sierra, because when you let go, the moment you let go, yeah, it can be scary. It can be a little like, oh, where we going? Two suspect lives. Hold on, but at the end, his plan is way bigger and way better than anything you could have ever planned or imagined. So you letting go, and even with the journey, the weight loss journey, and things like that, when you're working towards it, you know you're presenting your best self at this moment because I'm better than I was yesterday. So just think about it like that. Everything you have going on is like I'm already in my best version right now, and I'm gonna keep getting better. So yeah, I'm so happy that you're having all these revelations for real because that's what it's about. You live life, you learn, you adjust, you retest, and you do it again.
Sure do.
Do it again.
Sure do. Yes. This year has
Yeah.
been a really awakening. And like, it's a lot of the times it's things you already know. You
Mhm.
just don't put it into motion because it's hard work. It's hard work to change.
It
And I think
is.
it's so easy to say, oh, you just got to do this, you got to do that. It's hard work. And it's, like I said, it's easy to be like that past relationship or with my child's father. It's easy just to want to be stuck where you are because it's easy. It's what you know. It's what you're comfortable in. But
Mhm.
sometimes you got to get uncomfortable. To get to where you trying to go, you got to get a little uncomfortable. So I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah.
letting go of things that don't serve me anymore, whether that's Chick-fil-A fries every day or a man. You got
Yeah.
to just let things go that do not serve you anymore. And then you'll get things, you'll be rewarded with things that are for you.
Yeah. Which
And
that's so
it's
true.
hard to say. I'm saying it right now, and you're like, yeah, but it's hard to live in that every single day. It's not easy every single day, but I'm learning to tell myself that every day. And as the days pass, it gets easier and easier to kind of live in that truth.
Yeah. Yep. Because that's the perspective and it's shifting. So I agree 100% that change is hard to do because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But once you make that decision, you make a decision and you set that plan and you actually just be present. Like you said, you've already said all the things. Being present, you slowed down. So now you can see it. Like you knew this stuff, but now that you slow down, it's easier for you to identify things because you're like, oh, I remember that. That's a pattern. I see that. So that you already have the keys to do it. It's just even when you mess up, it's starting over again tomorrow. Like you gotta be willing to just
Okay,
keep
to
starting
mess
over.
up.
It
It's
is.
okay to fall back. I think sometimes we get so guilty. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember I had lost weight last year. I think I lost like 22 pounds, and then I had like messed up. So you feel so guilty about it that you just keep on like, well, why continue? I already, done messed up. But you have to tell
Yeah.
yourself it's okay to mess up. It's okay to mess up. You just have to get back up.
Yep.
You just have to get
That's the
back up.
enemy.
Yeah. Just get back up. That's all you have to do. And that can go for anything, whether it's school, whether it's your relationships, your walk with God, whatever it is, you just have to get back up.
Yes, ma'am. T- tell me how everything has kind of shifted since you started being a travel nurse though. Like how has that kind of impacted everything that you have going on?
I think travel nursing has been one of my biggest blessings. I'm about to stop soon. Well, now, because it gave me financial freedom because I was making way more than I could ever making as like a permanent staff nurse, which is so crazy. I need to talk to
Mm-hmm.
y'all senators and stuff about healthcare workers and their pay, teachers' pay, whatever you got to do. That's what we talk about. It shouldn't be like that, but it gave me financial freedom. I'm able to do the things, like I said, for my family that I always wanted to do. My mother has helped me so much. I was able to get her floors done, of the house. We're talking about other things that we're trying to do to the house. Freedom with my daughter because I'm a single parent. So like, she wants to play basketball. So paying for basketball camps and not having to be like, oh my gosh, this is, $200. I don't have that. I'm here, $200 for this week. Okay, what's next week? Like, I'm able to do that. She wants to get her hair done, every, whatever, 2, 3 months, whatever, how much month. I can do that. I remember back in the day, it was like my mom was putting plaits and bobos in my hair. I was getting my hair done when she had the money.
Yeah.
And so I think it allowed that type of freedom. I think it allowed me to see the world because before I had went some places before, but like I'm saying, I'm saving for a whole year. Just, go see somebody. This one I could kind of go see more. So I was able to see more people, do more things, meet new people. I traveling, like sometimes people get stuck in their own bubble. Especially me, like I said, I was born and raised in Austin. My first nursing job was in Austin. I had only lived other places when I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And those were different than Austin, but they were still big cities. Traveling, I was able to go to a lot of smaller towns where the population was probably like 90% white. 90% white, maybe a few Hispanic, a little sprinkle of black people. And I got to like meet these people and kind of relate and see where they're coming from. And then they got to
Yeah.
meet me and see where I'm coming from. And so I feel like I hope that I touched them in some way because they definitely touched me and we were able to take from that. And from learning about them, I view things differently. Let's talk about politics. Like, I still feel how I feel about things, but because I've been to those places, I understand why they might feel a certain way about something. So now we can meet each other halfway
Yeah.
because we can relate. We don't have to agree, but maybe we can come to some type of median about situations. And I think that's important. I think getting other people's worldview is so important. And that includes traveling. Like, people go to travel and have fun, which is great. But I also like to go see other cultures and see how they do things and see how they live. Because
Yeah.
that is just so important to kind of be a good global citizen and kind of understand things about the
Yeah.
world.
For sure. What were some of the places that you got to visit?
I went to Winchester, Virginia. I got a job somewhere. I didn't end up going there. It was in California. I don't remember what town it was. I just wasn't feeling it. I've been
Mm-hmm.
to Killeen and then I was in San Angelo. San Angelo was when I went to nursing school. I thought I would never ever go back there. Because it ain't nothing there. And it's
But
like,
Angelo State, that's it.
yeah, nothing there. So I was supposed to be there for 8 weeks. I ended up staying like a year, 13 months maybe. And that was like, some of my best friends are there. Those are like such amazing people. And you would never think it. You would think this old crazy white town, you would think it's like full of like a whole lot of racist people. And it's not like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that I went back there because when I was in nursing school, I literally went home to nursing school, home to nursing school. I didn't interact with the people. But going there and meeting these people, some of the best people that I've ever met in my life, I love them dearly. Those are my family. And then meeting like other travel nurses because they don't just come from Texas. They're coming
Mm-hmm.
from like one of my best friends now. She's from North Carolina, and meeting her, and she don't think Texas is the South. I was like, baby, we are more South than you. That's what I
Absolutely.
said.
You
She
East
like, we ain't cut
Coast.
right. I basically, I was like, girl, we are South. But just understand, like, there are levels to different countries. Like, everybody got their own type of country. I
Yeah.
have a friend that was a travel nurse that was from, I want to say she was from Mississippi. One of
She's
those
South.
towns. Yeah. And so just meeting her, and you would never think that we'd get along. She was an older white woman. Like, just, I love working with a diverse group of people and then like getting to relate and understand each other on a whole different level of
Yeah.
just white or black. Like, we go through some of the same things, same issues. We love the same. We have the same family dynamics. It really is just a color. And I think like with this election cycle and this season, I feel totally different about it than I did the first time. And what I mean by that is, Jane is angry. I ain't talking about him, but with the people. Now, do I think they dead wrong for voting for that man? Absolutely. But I can kind of understand it a little bit. And not saying I don't agree with why they did it, but you just have to go to these small towns, talk to these people. They have been like pushing an agenda that
Yeah.
is not accurate. And
Yeah.
so they only voting for what they know. But travel nursing has taught me a lot. I meet lots of different patients. I learn lots of things about like the culture that's in those areas. Because even though we're all American, we all do things differently. And
Facts.
major thing about traveling, like I said, it has let me provide for my family, and that's the biggest thing that I could ever be grateful for. I've since I started traveling, I have not had to like want for nothing. We have not had to struggle. We haven't had to do anything but kind of just live our lives, and that's been a blessing for me. So I'm grateful for
Yeah.
travel nursing.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful because it people are afraid to leave, are afraid to like go try new things, but that's what you need, that adventure, and being in those spaces where you're uncomfortable, like you said. Being uncomfortable kind of forces you to pull out the things that you wouldn't have even tapped into it that's inside of you. So I'm glad that you got to go do that and that you've experienced that, because now your perspective is totally different. Totally different.
And
Yeah.
things like I'm just enjoying my little life. Sometimes I'll be like, dang, like I said, I'll be like, oh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But really though, I'm so blessed and so fortunate to have the life that I have. I can say, oh, I want this to work out, I want this to do that, but really right now I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like, what am I'll be thinking right now, what am I do with the baby? What am
What
I
I'm gonna
doing
do
with
with
the
a
baby?
baby?
What am I doing with the baby? At least not right now. But like I said, it's those things like we get so sucked into like the pop culture, like, oh, you have to have a baby by 35, you're getting old, all that kind of stuff. And my child is 13, so I was like, oh, I need to hurry up and have a baby because I don't want them to be so far apart. But I'm like, girl, they already far apart.
Yeah, she 13.
They're
That baby
already
gonna
far
be
apart.
a high school senior when the baby 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, it is what it is. But I'm really taking into like these in January. I mean, 2025 just started, but I'm really taking into account like I really love my life. I'm about to be more present in it. I'm not going to have any expectations for my future anymore.
There you go.
And that's not saying I'm not trying to plan anything, but it's like I'm just gonna let life happen. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna do all the things that I was keeping doing, but I'm not gonna have any expectations for the way my life should be. I'm just gonna live in that moment, and if things progress that way, that's what they're meant to be. I was meant to be in a relationship. I was meant to get married at this time or have a baby at this time. I was meant to go to school at this time. Whatever it is that I'm kind of wanting out of life, I just gotta continue doing me. I gotta do all of the right things to put it into place.
Mhm.
Because faith without works is dead.
Yep.
But I gotta let he gonna do it for me in the
It's
time frame he think it needs to be done.
Yep.
And I ain't about to be demanding him to do nothing that he ain't ready to do.
You just gonna get your feelings hurt. So
For every single time, it takes sometimes you gotta get your feelings hurt to understand. And
yeah.
I've got him hurt a few times, and it's,
It be
he
like
definitely
that.
my feelings have definitely been hurt. But I'm just like I'm here. I'm appreciative. I still made it. I made it out, and now I'm gonna patiently wait for things to kind of happen waiting to do. Like, I'm no longer in a rush. I'm
No
no
need to
longer in a
rush.
rush to get there because
Yeah.
what happens if I get there but I wasn't really prepared for it?
Then you fumble the
When
bag. You fumble the whole purpose.
exactly.
You fumble the whole
So
purpose.
yeah. So I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna prepare myself to be ready. I'm going to qualify myself for
Mhm.
things that he has ready for me. Because
Absolutely.
obviously he thinks I ain't ready. So let me get ready. Let me
Yeah.
put myself in a position to handle what he gonna give me.
Yep.
And for this year, I'm working on everything because I'm preparing myself. He got greatness for me, and I need to be ready for it. I
yeah.
need to be ready.
And it's
Yeah.
probably just a mindset thing because you've already done a lot of the work. It's probably just a mindset thing. So it's good to hear that you're shifting that perspective because that's part of it. So you you sound like you already answered my last question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because you may say something different. So I'm gonna say it. So, what is one life lesson that you've learned throughout your journey that you believe makes you unstoppable?
Perseverance. I think one thing that I'm not perfect at everything. Sometimes people like always tell me how like proud of them they are of me. I don't get it sometimes. But one thing I can clap to myself, give myself kudos is I feel like I always persevere. I don't care what I'm going through. I always make it on the other side. I don't let my circumstance kind of keep me down. Um, Sometimes for a moment, you gotta cry, you gotta yell, you gotta kind of sit in those feelings. But then I gotta get up out of it. I got other things to do. Um, and like I said earlier, what made me want to persevere so much is having a child. That has been, now y'all don't go out having babies just to get this, but having a child, it really does. I don't know what clicks in your head, but it really does make you want to be a better person. It really makes you want to go forward. And so everything I do for her. I remember I was a senior year. I was staying in an apartment with one of my best friends, and she graduated a year before me. So then I had to move off campus because it was cheaper. I couldn't afford our campus apartment, but I didn't have a car. So the closest apartment that I could afford was like 3.5 miles away. So me and my baby walked every single day to school, and I would drop her off at daycare, go to school, go to work. I used to work at the bursar's office, walk to go pick her up, and then come home. I had to do what I had to do. And something about having a baby, it just kicks in that drive. I wasn't complaining. I don't care if it was raining, snow, whatever it was. We did what we had to do. And I think that's the proudest I feel like of myself, is that I kind of like step up and kind of took control of my own life. So many things were out of control, and I kind of took it into my own hands, and I just did it.
Yeah.
There was no other choice but to do it.
Yeah.
And that is one thing, the biggest life lessons I have is like, no matter what you go through, I'm not saying you can't feel a certain type of way, be sad, depressed, miserable, but you have to live in that for a moment. And then you get up, you brush yourself off, and you keep going, because it's going to get better. You're going to make it. You're going to survive. You're going to survive. A lot of us think it's going to be worse, or it's going to get better, and you're not going to suffer how you were before. You just have to get up and keep pushing.
Just have to get up and keep pushing. That, look, couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. And that's why we're proud of you, Sierra. Like, that's why.
It feels weird.
It feels weird, but you gotta learn how to receive that. You gotta learn how to receive it, because what other people see from the outside, sometimes it's supposed to help you accept you. Yeah. Sometimes, not all the time. But we see that though. Everything you just explained, we've seen that for years. So when we say we're proud of you, it's like because we've seen you persevere. So I'm super proud of you, and I really appreciate you sharing your story and telling people about it, because I hope that somebody else can see themselves in you for sure and know that they can make it too.
Yeah, anyone can make it. Anybody can make it.
And thanks to Coach K for firming up the dough. I'm ready for the journey. So pro. I know there will be highs. I know there will be lows. Road to success got so many toes, but I'm ready for the journey. Yeah, I said I'm ready.